I was about 8 years old, and the coach at the time, who later became one of the GB national coaches, had asked me to do a triple front somersault off a trampoline. Now, I was only about 8 years old, so I was really young to be trying a skill like that. And for some reason, he'd asked me to do it on a crash mat. So I did the first one, and it was really good. It was like perfect. And I got really excited. I thought, right, I'm going to do this one more time. And kind of at this point, a lot of the older lads from the gym had come to look, because there was this 8-year-old kid doing a triple front off a trampoline on a crash mat, which was pretty crazy. And in gymnastics, there's a thing called a cowboy. So when you do somersaults, multiple somersaults in a row, you have to pull your legs to the side in case you land and your head goes kind of down towards your knees, and it will go between your legs rather than hitting your knees. And, you know, I just didn't have the experience to do that. I was only 8 years old, and I've done this triple front. It wasn't quite as good. It was a bit lower, and my head has just smacked my kneecap full pelt. I've hit my cheekbone, and it's swollen up really fast. And my dad came, somebody called my dad, and this became like a bit of a theme throughout my career that, you know, I'd get injured in the gym, my mum and dad would get a call, and they'd know if they were getting called in the middle of a session, it was probably because Sam's hurt himself and we've got to take him to A&E. So my dad comes and picks me up, and my face is like this big at this point, and the coach is saying, it's going to be fine, just put some ice on it. And my dad kind of drove me home, and I could kind of see the panic on his face, and he pulled up, and I'll never forget, like, we've got a big window in my living room, and my mum was stood at the window, and she screamed because you couldn't see my eye. My face was like this. And she was like, are you joking? We're not just putting some ice on it. We've got to take him to the hospital. So they took me to the hospital, and it turned out that I'd fractured my cheekbone. And they were basically saying that this was quite a serious injury. We're going to have to monitor Sam's recovery, but it looks like he's going to have laser surgery and a metal plate put in his face. And that was pretty serious, that was. I mean, that shook me up. And I actually still have the hole in my face today, so I can still poke a hole in my cheekbone. And the coolest thing about that injury when I was a kid was that, and it definitely didn't deter me from trying dangerous things in the gym, but the coolest thing was when I was at school, because I'd hit my face so hard, I looked like the Elephant Man, and all the white part of my eye was like bloodshot red for like 3 months, but like a deep dark red. So I'd just run around scaring all the girls at school, so I thought it was hilarious. But that was my first injury, I think, my first big injury from gymnastics.